because the Jets are interested in Mike Vrabel. According to Connor Hughes of SNY, he says that Mike Vrabel is the coach that the Jets covet the most. The Jets just finished an interview with John Robinson yesterday, the former Titans GM. That's immediate connection. They also interviewed Thomas Dimitrov, who is the former Falcons GM from 2008 to 2020. I like that they're interviewing guys now. This is why they fired Joe Douglas when they did, so they can start their interviewing process. They're interviewing guys that are not employed by the NFL. And a lot of people in circles say that, according to sources, Mike Vrabel wants to be the Jets head coach. Now, that could be, there's a lot of options out there. He can go to Chicago. There's rumors he can go to Ohio State. I'm not going to buy into it yet. But, man, I want Mike Vrabel so bad. And I feel like he'd be the perfect guy for this team, man. And also, after watching the Aaron Rodgers documentary, bring him back in 2025, by the way. But what's your thoughts of this? Do you think Mike Vrabel is going to be a Jet?
No, I think he's going to Ohio State. I'm actually, I think that's the best move for Vrabel.
Hater. You know what that means if he comes here.
No, I think he'll be the Jets. He might be the Jets' next head coach. I just feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. When you're hearing these guys, certain guys say, hey, they had, that's where he wants to be and stuff like that. And him already knowing where he's going and all of that, it just becomes very interesting. But Vrabel, I know he has options. And I think Vrabel might, I don't know Vrabel like that. It's like how he moves in this sense. If I was him, I will wait till what do we call it? Black Monday, or what do we call it?
Yeah, Black Monday or whatever.
I will wait till after that first week when the season's over, because there are some jobs that might come available, man, that you don't know are available right now. And he is one of the top candidates, so I would be very selective. I would probably interview for 2 to 3 jobs and make sure that you're putting yourself in the right situation. See, a guy like Vrabel isn't interviewing. He's interviewing the organization.
So I want to show you guys this clip. This can mean absolutely nothing or it can mean everything. All right? This was Darren Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee. What?
No, he's just a fraud to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Darren Orlovsky is?
Well, he's the type where if he has an opinion, even when it's being proven wrong, he'll die on the hill.
Well, let's see.
Who do you think about for that particular situation? Vrabel's still out there.
Yes.
Vrabel's still out there. Bill Belichick has an opt-out of a deal.
I think Vrabel's spoken for.
Oh.
What do you mean?
What's that mean?
Married? He is married, right?
He is married.
I think he's married, yeah.
Spoken for how?
What do you mean?
Where?
I just think that Vrabel's probably got a very clear sight and path with where he is going to be likely coaching.
Where?
College or pro? Say it. He's saying Ohio State.
He'll be coaching football.
Pro or college?
I just.
So we wouldn't have thought college,
I'm not a
right?
reporter.
The answer is so
I'm
it's
not
college.
a reporter.
O-H-I-O. Is that what you're saying?
I think that there's a vision for where he kind of likely ends up coaching next year.
So that can mean nothing. But running with that,
You going to Ohio State, bro?
maybe Mike Vrabel already has an idea of where he's going. And it's the Jets!
Rich, it ain't gonna make no difference because
Yes,
y'all
it
the
is.
Jets. Y'all the Jets.
Okay, that's such a lazy...
Y'all always say it's lazy, and it turns out to be that y'all are the Jets.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like, you look back this season, man, we were so close to, we should be in the playoff race right now if you really think about what went wrong. And you know what I mean by that? I had this realization. If the New York Jets had the same exact special teams and defense as they did last year, mixed in with this year's offense, we are in the playoff race.
Who's been telling you that? Who's been telling you that?
The haters will be like, no, but we're the Jets. I mean, that's why we're the
I
Jets.
get what you're saying. That was a joke, but I've been telling you that. I mean, this is on the defense.
And the kicker. Greg Zuerlein was lights out, our kicker, last year. He's so good. to the point where we would call Greg the Leg. Oh, he's the greatest kicker ever. And now he's out there. I mean, he's benched, first of all. He lost. He cost us the Broncos game. He cost us the Bills game. Right? And the defense cost us the Patriots game, couldn't stop Brissett. The defense cost us the Colts game, couldn't stop Richardson on the last drive. That's 4 games right there. That has nothing to do with the offense in Aaron Rodgers. 4. That's 8 wins, hypothetically, if it was flipped around. That's 8 wins right in the playoff race. It's like so ridiculous how you look at the littlest things and what did not go our way, right? The Vikings game, Rodgers had a chance to win it. He failed. Okay, that's an L. You know, I mean, even the Dolphins game. If we had a right coach that just ran the ball 3 straight times,
you never
like
had
a smart. Yeah, we did. We were beating you guys. We had every reason to win that football game, but we don't have a coaching staff, man. I mean, and in the Bills game, people say he did not cost you in the Bills game. No, Greg Zuerlein missed, and also in that Bills game on Monday night, the score was 20-20 with a minute left in the third quarter. And the Jets scored a touchdown that was called back with one of the worst holding calls you'll ever see by Tyron Smith. And you know what happens? They settle for 3 points instead of 7, and they missed a 30-yard field goal. So instead of going up 27-20 heading into the fourth quarter, we give the ball back to Josh Allen, tied 20-20. All the momentum goes back. So, like, all I'm saying is, like, the Jets are not far off. Like, it may seem that way because we're 4-10 and we've sucked and we lost ways that are comprehensible, but they're really not far off, TD.
I understand what you're saying, Richie. Again, you get your right coach, but I don't know if Vrabel's going to be a Jet. I will say this. I will concede this. The more that this rumbling happens, the more I believe that it will happen for the Jets where they'll get their guy in Mike Vrabel. I just hate it, especially being a Dolphins fan, because, you know, Bills are solidified. Jets look like they may be figuring it out. And the Dolphins are sitting here questioning, where do we go from here? So Vrabel, I think he would be a great fit with the Jets. He's your number one option. I'll say that. He is your number one option.
Yeah. And according to sources, he's the Jets' number one option, and then there's everyone underneath him. So I think that and also, according to the source of the report, apparently the Jets reached out to Mike Vrabel already to gauge his interest, which is making me feel like the stars are aligning. If they reach out to Vrabel to gauge his interest, that means Vrabel knows the Jets are interested. That means Vrabel made his decision if he's interested, which is why Dan Orlovsky's saying he knows where he's going, which is the Jets.
Yeah, but did they set up the interview?
No, they're doing the GM interviews first. They're interviewing GMs.
Well,
and then they're going to hire the GM, and then they're going to go after Mike Vrabel. Watch. So everybody in the chat, do you guys think Mike Vrabel is going to do it? Another thing about Mike Vrabel that people are concerned about is he's a defensive-minded guy. What about the offense? Well, the one thing about Mike Vrabel is he hires offensive guys. He hired Matt LaFleur as his offensive coordinator. He's a now head coach for the Packers. He hired Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinator. He was a head coach. And then he hired Todd Downing as offensive coordinator, who, by the way, is on the Jets coaching staff right now.
Yeah, he could bring his staff in.
He's going to bring in the staff. So don't be concerned about that. And also, do you think John Robinson would be a smart hire, or do you think he failed in Tennessee and you don't want to, he would be a bad decision? Because people say, oh, he traded A.J. Brown, right? Like, that's the big thing that people hold John Robinson over his head.
You got to go with that pair. I like them. I just think that they should have given them more time in Tennessee, knowing that they didn't have the quarterback. And then when they got Tannehill, that was actually an excellent move for the, you know, as a backup, and then going into that starter role playing well. But overall, they just kind of cut bait with the team after that. They do got to realize they had injuries. They had a bad O-line. Well, the O-line was actually great. It's just to start aging and going downhill due to injuries and stuff and losing them. So, and I feel like, you know, the brass in the front office basically cut ties with them and moved on too prematurely. I think that they could have rebuilt what they tried. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem for the Jets. Y'all already got a lot of cornerstone pieces. So that's a good thing. He gets to come in and get rid of some, keep some, and build it the way he wants to build it. And I know one thing, you're definitely going to run that football and figure out a nice run game with them coming in the building. You're going to play defense, run the football, which is always a young quarterback's best friend. And then you're going to find quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, my biggest concern is that I'm getting my hopes up all the way up just for him to get hired by Ohio State or the Bears or something. And I'm like, oh, all right, now we're going to go back to square one and someone I don't want. So we shall see.